I'm ready to get out here and open up my doors. I have a dry load that I picked up in Sellersburg, Indiana, which is down south Indiana. So let me get my gloves on here. I gotta wait for a door. I guess I'm in line behind these other two drivers. There's a driver here to the left of me, and there's another driver right there to the left of me. So we're gonna go open up these, break the seal and open up the doors and wait in line. So be ready just to back up to a door. So break the seal. I'll put the seal on the back right there so they see it. So I don't think it's all that same thing. There's probably some other product on there too, but it's sparkling ice. Caffeine is what they got on there. Zero sugar. So I'm waiting to take any docks between 18 and 26 or 24. I think is what she said. So I gotta wait in line behind these two guys. So I might be here for a little while. There we go. I don't think I really need to sit here with my hazards on blinking and listen to that blinking. I think I'm pretty safe. So I was running about an hour late to get here, and that was kind of really not my fault. Kind of got held up a little bit at my pickups and deliveries yesterday, but it's just the way things are. It was a little too tight, but I don't think it's gonna be. I don't think it's a really big deal. But didn't turn out real good, so I took it down after I uploaded this one that I just uploaded in the middle of the night last night. So hopefully that's a lot better and people won't have too much negative to say about it. But being a pre-trip video, it's subject to all kinds of criticism, and I avoid doing some of there's certain videos I don't do a lot of because they're subject to a lot of criticism, but it is about time for me to start doing some of those videos and let people criticize, and then as I get those criticisms, that will be how I will gauge how good my videos are and improve them and make better ones. As people tell me what I'm messing up on, I will try to improve those and make them better. As people tell me, hey, you didn't do this, you didn't talk about that, you messed up on that, you didn't talk about this, you didn't, whatever people tell me. So do the best you can. Had 4 people, now there's 0. That's weird. Now, just waiting in line. Yeah. So the receiving office is right over here. They want everybody staged right here, waiting in line to get one of these docks. So any docks from 18 to 26, did she say? These guys are waiting. 18 to 26 or 24, I can't remember. If it was 18 to 26 or 18 to 24. So, and that Casey's trailer is in 17. So this guy in the blue truck is at 18, 19, 20, 21. So probably where that last truck with that deer guard right there, that white one. Yeah, I try to do a lot of videos on helping drivers to learn how things work, and people that are curious about becoming a truck driver, what it all takes to be a truck driver. There's a lot of little nuances out there. So, and as you're in the industry a long time, like I have, I've been a truck driver for 25 years. There's a lot of things that you kind of forget over the years if you're not being forced to do them, or they're, different companies that you work at. There's different things that are important to different companies, and you tend to forget how to do some things the right way, the things that you're supposed to be doing that you don't. And it's true, over time you become more and more comfortable behind the wheel of the truck, and there's a lot of things that you should be doing that a lot of people don't. You've totaled too many cars. Yeah, well, some people shouldn't be driving any vehicle. Some people just do not have the knack to pay attention and follow the rules of the road at all. But most of the people that are out there driving don't follow the rules of the road like they should anyway. A lot of truck drivers, there's a big old thing about, there's foreign guys coming over to the country and getting truck driving jobs and taking jobs away from, those of us here, and they're going out and getting in wrecks and running over people, and finally they're supposed to be enforcing everybody who drives a truck should know how to read, write, and reasonably being able to carry a reasonable conversation in English and be able to understand, and be able to read and understand our warning signs on the highway if they want to be a truck driver. And most of us Americans don't care if foreign people come over here to live, as long as they come over here the right way and they learn how to do things the right way. If we go over there to their country, they should expect us, if we're not just, vacationing, just over there being a tourist. If we're actually going over there trying to do work or whatever, there are certain jobs that we probably shouldn't be doing if we can't read and write and communicate properly. There's probably certain things that we should not be trying to do because we wouldn't be able to do it safely because we can't understand all the directions that we got to follow in order to be safe and not put people in danger. Same thing over here. They're coming over here driving truck. They can't read and write our language. And these guys are getting away with using these interpreter programs on their phones to interpret back and forth. But that's good when you're checking in and out of places, but they don't understand. They can't read and understand our road signs. They don't understand, how fast they should be driving. They don't understand the speed limit signs. They don't understand our construction signs and signs saying, all kinds of stuff. And then they have a totally different mentality because they're from a totally different culture. And right or wrong, they have a different philosophy of living, different attitudes, different, they grew up different and things work different in other countries. And in the United States, we have all kinds of truck stops. We have all kinds of places for trucks and stuff, even though it's still not enough. It's getting better all the time because these major truck stop chains like Love's and Pilots and Flying J's, TA's and Petros and Sap Brothers and Shells and all these different truck stop chains are constantly building more truck stops all the time. And it's getting better and better, but it's still a pain to find parking sometimes because these truck stops fill up. And if you're trying to find parking, usually between the hours of 7 p.m. to about 11 to midnight, that is the worst possible time to try to look for parking. And that's usually about the average time a lot of drivers are looking for parking, and these places fill up. And sometimes you got to be creative and find different places to park. You find rest areas, you find Walmarts that will let trucks park there. There are some Walmarts around the country that you'll get a boot put on your truck and trailer and have to pay a huge fine to get the boot off. And there's other places like that. And so you got to be real careful about where you choose to park. And sometimes you got to be creative. Go find industrial areas where there's trucks waiting to get into places that receive or that do shipping and receiving on industrial roads that usually say have no parking signs, but people, truck drivers park there anyway. Go park there and just take up a space there and stay out of everybody's way. All kinds of things like that. Just think about where trucks can go to park usually. And the longer you're in the trucking industry, the more you can try to remember when you're in certain areas of the country. Okay, when I was here last time, I was able to park at this place. And remember places that, have plenty of parking that maybe you can go park and no one's going to say nothing. You can go take your break there as long as you have access to a bathroom and whatnot, and your needs are met. Go ahead. Well, the high priorities when trying to find parking is at least to have some sort of bathrooms available, porta potty, restroom, whatever. There are some gas stations with limited truck parking. They might only have 4 or 5 spots, sometimes only 2 or 3, but they'll have a few spots and they'll let you park there. It just depends, and you got to look out for those places and keep a note of those places, and the more you can remember, the better off you'll be when you're trying to look for parking. Parking can be one of the biggest problems sometimes. You can waste a lot of your drive clock trying to find a place to park. So, anyway, now I'm done with that tangent. Hope everybody's doing good today. It's a nice sunny day. Was a lot of rain over in Ohio and stuff. Um, no, there's not room to really have a bathroom unless you got one of those bigger ones. There are some of those bigger semis. You see those ones with those super big sleepers on them. A lot of those are classic style trucks with the big nose hoods, you know. Those, some of them do have a bathroom in them. I've never been inside one of those. I don't know what all they have, but I've heard they have bathrooms and I've heard they have stuff. They're basically like a small RV that's able to pull trailers. And they are basically making RVs out of some semi trucks. They take a semi truck and they build an RV off the back of it. And some of them are pretty nice, but they cost a lot more than your average RV. Gotta blow my nose. Okay, that guy's moving, so that guy's gonna pull into a spot. And then I got this guy to the left of me that's gonna go next after that. They said yeah, they're not all completely the same. There's slightly different layouts. Some of them have double bunk, some of them have just a single bunk, some of them are mid roofs, some of them have better storage area, better cabinet spaces than others. It just depends on the make and model of the truck and maybe what the company ordered, and they got all kinds of different variations of what the trucks look like. From company to company, they can change depending on what the company ordered. If they got brand new trucks, they put in an order. But yeah, there's plenty of space to pull up and do a straight line back here. So I can pull up like I was gonna do a blindside, but if I can pull up far enough to do a straight line back right into the dock. And then as soon as they give me a green light, my paperwork's supposed to be in the back and I can just take off. And then my company's just on the other side of the interstate here. Oh yeah? Well, sorry it didn't work out. Yeah. Alright. So we got one other guy here. We got this guy. He's gonna be next, and that'll be my turn. We got straight trucks lining up as well. So I just gotta wait for one of these guys to move, and then, well, that guy will pull into the next dock available, and then I will pull into the next one after that. Hopefully these straight trucks don't try to cut in front of me. They're more mobile and can maybe cut in front of me and beat me to a dock. Hopefully they won't try to beat me to a dock. Hopefully they'll be going to a different set of docks. So I don't know how that's going to play out. Hopefully they'll wait their turn. Or that they're waiting for a different set of docks than we are with the full trailers. I don't know how they got that going here. So I don't think they take too terribly long to get people unloaded here. I've only delivered here once or twice before, and I don't remember it ever taking really terribly long. And last time I didn't really have, I think I've been here maybe 3 times before now, maybe only twice before now, and I was usually able to get right into a dock. This time I have to wait. Yep. Truck driving is something that is definitely a very interesting career path, but if you're a person who likes to spend a lot of time alone or a lot of time with only one other person, like in a team driving situation, then, you know, living in a enclosed space, it can be definitely an interesting life, but you're seeing a lot of the highway and industrial areas. You don't usually have much of a chance to go unless you take your time off in specific areas. I try to show what really goes on, and I try not to hide when I make mistakes. You know, a lot of guys make videos, but they never show when they mess up, so they don't get criticized and ridiculed. But you know, I try to keep it real. I try to show, hey, I messed up, because I want people to be able to learn from what I did and see what happens, you know, when you do something, when you mess up. And I'm surprised I haven't gotten more ridicule than what I have on some of my videos, because I talk funny. Sometimes I say the wrong words or just say things weird or misspeak sometimes. And so, yeah. So gotta, let's see. As soon as somebody moves, surprised. I mean, I gotta wait for that guy, and then we got straight trucks. The 2 of them lined up that I can see. So we'll see how this happens here. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Just hang out here. Hopefully they'll get these guys unloaded quick so we can get to the dock, because I need to get on to that next load. Most likely I'll be going back to Trotwood, Ohio, which is right on the edge of Dayton, Ohio. That's most likely where I'll be going, but there's no guarantee that that is where I'm going. I could be going about anywhere. I could be going, on average, I either go towards Ohio up by Trotwood or in the Ohio area, Indiana area, or I go up to Minnesota and Wisconsin a lot, sometimes Michigan. I've gone down to Texas and back before. I've gone to Alabama before, for this company. I mean, I'm willing to drive wherever they want to send me to. I'll go to California if they want to. I'll go to the far reaches of the United States and come back. I mean, I can go anywhere in the United States and make it back by the end of the week. If they send me there by the end of the week, I could go out to Denver and back and still be home by the end of the week and stuff. So it all depends on where they want to send me to, and I don't really care. I'm just out here to, get the miles in, and we'll see. It's not a lot of pick and choose out here with loads. It's wherever they can get the loads for, and to get people going so we can make those miles, and we can all make money, Yeah, I would have to say Michigan does have interesting roads. I go up there every so often. I'm up there. There's some areas that are under construction that are real interesting because of the way you guys' roads are. You guys, if I remember right, have some similarities to Texas on how some of your roads are up there, where you have some service roads and stuff. I think it was Michigan that I had some interesting service roads and ways to turn around when I was up there last. Unless I'm thinking of Wisconsin. Up in the I'm trying to remember the name of the big city there. Anyway, there's interesting roads everywhere. Each state is just a little different on how their roads are. And some of the states in the South don't have very wide roads in a lot of areas. And it just depends on, you get in the newer developed areas, they are making wider roads. And there's a lot of areas that are under construction where they're trying to widen roads. Number one for the potholes. Nah. Need to come down this way to Missouri and Iowa and a couple of the states down south. It's a lot worse. You get down there into like some of the states, they got a lot of potholes. You get to like down in Arizona and New Mexico and stuff, they have roads that they've never redid the roads, that have permanently, they got blacktop, that trucks driving through on the hot days have literally created ruts in the blacktop. When you get off to go to, I don't know if it's a Pilot or a Love's, but you get off to go to that truck stop out in either Arizona or New Mexico, and you get off and there's literally ruts that would tear off the skirting on the bottom of this truck that are like the blacktop's like got ruts in it this deep, and you wouldn't want to even drive a car through there through some of those spots because the ruts are so bad because of the trucks making grooves in the hot sun. Just makes that blacktop just get just pliable enough that the heavy trucks just are creating grooves in it. So if you think Michigan's got bad roads, get down in some of those areas where the hot sun with the blacktop is making ruts. And up in the mountains west of Denver, there's a lot of bad potholes and ruts and things that been there for years, and I don't think they're ever going to fix them, and it's going to have to get a lot worse before they fix them. But they have a lot of truck drivers, you know, chaining up in the winter time, and that kind of tears the roads up a little bit. Well, I was hoping this wasn't going to take a long time. Oh, I think this guy's leaving. You thought Missouri was hot? Try going way down south. I think it's even hotter. But we have pretty hot summers. I don't know about Michigan, but we get pretty hot, humid summers in Iowa. Thick humidity. I'm sure you guys get some of that humidity up there too because of all the moisture because of the lakes up there. All right, now this guy is gonna go get into that spot. So that guy in the blue truck left, so this guy in the red truck's gonna back into that spot. And then hopefully one of these other guys is gonna leave soon so I can get one of those spots. But hopefully that'll be soon. I can't tell if anybody else is getting ready to leave over there or not, but it should be about time for a couple of them to be leaving. That one guy left. These other guys should be getting ready to go too. So another dock or two should be opening up here soon. Let's see, is anybody else going to leave here soon? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 trucks at the dock. If I knew who was going to leave next, I would go get lined up. That other truck that left, he pulled up over there, so he's probably going to go around the building to get out of here. Let's see if any of these other guys leave here soon so I can get a dock. This is what it's like playing the waiting game. It's a lot of hurry up and wait, especially when you're at chippers and receivers. Some places are pretty quick to get you in and out. Some places it takes a while and you got to sit around and wait for something to pop off, or usually getting loaded doesn't take nearly as long as getting unloaded. Hey, good morning. How's it going? Just waiting to get to a dock here. I'm next in line to get the next dock once one of these guys leaves here, these 6 guys. These are the 6 docks that I have to choose from. Any one of these docks once one of these other drivers leaves. The guy directly to the right in the red truck just got backed in for anybody just joining. So any one of those other trucks over there could be leaving any second. Anytime we could be getting at one of those other docks. And I got all kinds of pull-up space to do a straight line back into these docks. So I won't have to do no 45 like bull crap. I can pull up and back right in. Hopefully soon one of these guys will be, pulling out. They've all been there long enough. Somebody should be pulling out any second. Any time now. Not time for me to take my hoodie off because it's starting to warm up. Take the hoodie off and I'll put my safety vest on. Yeah, find you a smaller company. Try to avoid the big carriers because you're just a number there. And although there are good big carriers out there, try to find a local company, a smaller company that's looking for drivers. And see if they'll hire you on, depending on how long you if it's been that long since you drove, you might have to go back to school to do a refresher course somewhere. So you might be stuck going to one of the mega carriers with their own school just to do a refresher course, because a lot of companies won't hire you unless you have recent driving experience, like within the last couple of years. If you haven't driven recently, they may not hire you. So if you're really wanting to get back in the industry, you might want to call, depending on where you live in the country and what's close to you. You might have to go to whatever's close to you and go do a refresher course and get back on a truck. You'll have to go back out with a trainer and to make sure that you remember how to do everything. And then once you've proven yourself, you can go out solo or team and go drive for whatever. But You just got to decide what all you're wanting to subject yourself to as to what company you want to go to and stuff. And then you got all those choices of regional, OTR, dedicated, and all that stuff. Whether or not you want to drive solo or team, whether or not you want to be home weekly, whether you want to be home every night, all that stuff, and just see what's out there and available and what positions you can find that they're looking for people. So just gotta call around. But if it's been that long since you've driven, they're probably going to require you to go back to take a refresher course somewhere. You got CRST, all the big major carriers that have their own schools. Swift, CRT, CSR, CRST. You got Prime and Knight. Any company that has their own school. See, England has a school. I'm not sure what I think of them anymore after my last little stint with them. That's where I originally got my CDL, and then I did a refresher course at CRST in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. And CRST was an okay place to work for at the time. They use a community college in Cedar Rapids to do all their schooling stuff. Just whatever. All right. What the fuck, Dorn? No. That guy left. Okay. Alright, this is going to be interesting because I'm going to have to go at this in a funny way. Because there just so happens to be a bobtail and stuff. Everybody else didn't have anybody in their way for the docks they went to, but I got stuff in the way. But no big deal. We'll just work around it. Perfect. I actually did that pretty good. Didn't realize that that line was about a foot off the line for the dock. So, perfect. There. Cool. These automatic trucks like to roll a lot. So, up against the dock now. That depends on where you're at in the country and what's close to you that might be better for you. I'd never driven for night, so I don't know how good they are. I know if you've ever watched, you may not have heard of them, but a guy that went by the handle of Little Dog on his channel back when he was truck driving, he took down all his videos, and he doesn't have very many videos on there. He was truck driving. He started out at night after he was in the military. He was in the Navy. And then he became a truck driver, and he did training and stuff for night, and then he moved on to some other companies. And then a few years back, I was watching his videos, and he went and worked for I can't remember what the company was, but he was able to get in an owner-operator situation with a long-nose Kenworth, and he got did a wrap on it and everything with all the military stuff. But then he got out of truck driving because he had to be home because his daughter, he had several daughters, and he lives down in Reno, and he went to get off the truck because his youngest daughter had to go get a bunch of procedures done at a hospital for, I don't remember what her illness was, but he's now just doing local stuff. He runs can't remember what you call it, but it's basically a digging machine, and he's doing a lot of dirt work. And the first thing he did was he went and he was hauling milk for a while locally, and then he obviously moved on to doing more like construction like stuff locally, so he could stay close to home to be with his family. And I would like to do something like that where I could be home more, so I could have time for my hobbies more, so I could work on my other channel. My other channel is Jason's Creative Adventures, and I do more artistic like stuff, paintings and sculptures and woodworking, leatherworking, a whole hodgepodge of different stuff like that. You want to do that, go look at working for a concrete company and drive a mixer. They take the winters off. One of my driver buddies, he used to work for one of the local mixing companies, not Manats, one of the local companies around here. Trying to remember the name of it, but anyway, he worked driving a mixer, and they usually would take time off, and whatever you average a week throughout the working months, you would make that in unemployment, or a percentage of that, I think. I can't remember, but you'd still make like a percentage of that every week during the off months. But during the warm months, depending on where in the country you live, if it's warm all the time where you're at, I don't know what part of the country you live in. It sounds like from your comment that you might live in the Midwest area, and if that's true, then you're probably going to be stuck, being off during the winter months for the mixer. But if you live down south in this, there might not be any off time, because you could probably run a mixer all year round. So depending on where you live, so alrighty. How long have I been on? I've been on yeah. Well, I hope whatever you go for works out for you. Everybody's situation is different. What worked for me may not work for you, and what works for you may not work for me. So everybody's situation is unique, depending on whether you got kids or whatever your situation is. Depends on what will work for you. I try to give the best information I can. I don't know everything though. So we got one guy lined up ahead. He's been there a while. That truck with the blue truck with the trailer took off. We got one, two. Okay, we got guy in the straight truck. The other guy, straight truck, he was acted like he was going to try to beat me to a dock, but then he took off and went down that way by that semi and took off that way, so he must have been leaving. So I don't know what the dealio is. Well, good. If your kids are grown, then they're not an issue, especially if they don't live with you. So there's a Casey's driver getting ready to go make some deliveries, or he's already been out for deliveries and he just got back, and who knows what the situation is. A lot of these local guys deliver in the morning and get back. They'll start out really early in the morning and get done early in the day, and then they'll have the rest of their day off. They start their day like crazy early in the morning to go to all these stores to deliver product into all these different stores. I worked at Casey's before making donuts and stuff, and those trucks would show up about 3 or 4 in the morning, and we'd have to unload them. So well, okay, well, my wife needs me to call her, and so I'm gonna have to get off here and call her back. Thanks for coming by and hanging out. I'm gonna jump off here and go call my wife and see what she needs. She said she needed me to call her. So thanks for coming by and watching. I'll catch you guys next time. Enjoy all my videos. There's plenty of them. There's over 300 of them now. Most of those are live feeds, and there's a bunch of edited videos, so choose those. You can also go watch my Jason's Creative Adventure channel, and my daughter has a channel as well, Elena's Playing Adventures. That's more for kids, so if you are into that, if you got kids that want to watch kids YouTube videos, that's an option for you. You can look that up. Elena's Playing Adventures. All right, guys, I'm jumping off here. Catch you next video. Thanks for coming by.